When I first discovered the inner child thing, it really did change a lot for me. It allowed me to access a lot of things that I couldn't access before. I remember the first time I discovered it, I was meditating. This is a fair few years ago. And there was no music, no sound, just me. I think I was just feeling my emotions or something. And then I thought I'd try an experiment where I was just picturing me as a little child sitting about 5 years old or so, sitting on the ground in my bedroom, in the bedroom I grew up in. And I was in a lot of pain. And I pictured myself as me now, being in that room, sort of standing, watching this child, and just comforting the child, just saying things like, "It's okay, I'm here for you." And eventually I did that for a few minutes and I started to cry. And that had never happened to me before. I'd, I'd always had to cry with music or some kind of outside influence. But for me to sit there meditating and be able to cause that to happen was very powerful. I was very surprised that it happened. I didn't expect it. And then I realized there's something in this, but I didn't realize exactly what it was straight away. And I don't think I did it again much for a long time, a period of years. And then I took a year off work and I was traveling, and I had a lot of time to sort of, like the nature of full time travel is you have a lot of time to yourself, a lot of time in your head. There's a lot of waiting and walking and things like that. So I really started to with it a lot. And what I started to do was feel that inner child wherever I was going, wherever I was. So if I was with a group of people, the inner child was saying, "I'm so ashamed," or "I'm not good," or all these things like that. And I remember there were sensations coming out of the stomach and the chest. And as I was walking, I wasn't aware of this before. And it was really painful when it started to happen because I realized how this shame that I had in the stomach and the chest was controlling so much of my life. My sense of wanting to avoid so many things. And so I would walk around sort of nurturing this child as much as I could. I would feel the child. "I'm so ashamed, I'm not good, I'm bad," all this stuff like that, wherever I was with anyone. And it started to be sort of become obsessive. It was very difficult time because it made it very hard to socialize. It made it very hard to be and do anything because I was so aware of this thing that was already there. It was very painful. And that was an important part of my process. I think it was a couple of months of me traveling to different countries, doing different things. And whenever I was with people, I would just be feeling this shame really intensely, like a white hot burning sensation in the stomach and chest. But nothing really happened until I started to nurture this feeling. And I started to try to be with it and to try to give it space and patience and love and kindness. Not to repress it, but to give it a safe space in order for it to allow it to be released. And I didn't exactly know this was what I was doing until it happened. So I would try to nurture it as much as possible. I would picture it as a young child sitting there as me, just feeling the shame, and I would give it so much love. "It's okay, let's feel the shame together. Let's be together. Let's just sit here forever. Whatever you feel is perfectly fine. I have nothing but love for you. Let's stay here and let's just hug." All the stuff that we all want. What is the perfect entity for you? You have to be that to yourself. Be infinite love and patience to the young child within. And when I started doing this, it didn't take too long, and eventually it just cracked and I started to cry. I started to cry very, very immature things. You could feel that it was from something very, very long ago. Some of the words that were coming out, and it was very painful, but it was very releasing as well. And that happened a few times, and ever since then, that shame sense is definitely much, much less. Like, it's barely kind of noticeable. when I say things like these words, the shame type sentences that I was saying, they just don't trigger anything anymore. But they used to trigger everything. It was really crazy. So try doing that. This is a very good way to heal from trauma and repression, is to firstly become aware of it and just let it speak. Wherever you are, generally other people will trigger it. Just let it speak. Just feel it and be it, and sort of try to get obsessed with it, because it is there. It's just you're ignoring it. Let it come out. Let it speak. Let it be with you. And it may take a couple of months, but eventually when you're ready, you can release it. The way I did it was by giving it that kindness and love as much as I could, because that's what we didn't have as kids, right? We didn't have the kindness and love and space that we needed to feel safe enough to cry and express these things. No one's going to do it for you now. And even if they tried, you wouldn't let them because we're so repressed. The only person that's going to do it for you is you. You're all you've got in this thing. So give that a go. Thanks, guys.